Sorry, there's a mosquito in my room. I told you this house is infested with fucking insects, man. Hence why I can't wait to get out of this fucking house, man. Get out of this ghetto. Get out of this ghetto town, man. Because for someone of my status, I shouldn't be living in a middle class neighborhood. I should be living what? A billionaire life for someone of my status. I'm a son of God, obviously. And it's me saying in this. I've been living in this neighborhood for 20 years. I can't wait to get out of this fucking neighborhood, man. Just finally live the life as king, man. And my wife came with me, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Right. So going back to the cinematographers. For the cinematographers, I want the cinematographers who worked on Passion of Christ. Right, who worked on Passion of Christ. The mosquitoes there again. I tried to kill the mosquito, but I couldn't. So I see it roaming around, but I'll just deal with the mosquito later after this video. So for the cinematographers, I want the cinematographers who worked on Passion of Christ. Right, so one guy who worked on Passion of Christ, Lord of the Rings the original. I can hire two guys who worked on Lord of the Rings the original, one guy who worked on Passion of Christ, one guy who worked on Avatar, and then one guy who worked on Underworld Rise of the Vikings. Hire those four guys. Because I'm going to lease a good 7 IMAX cameras. I'm not going to waste money and lease like 30 cameras. Because in Hollywood, some companies, they lease like dozens of cameras. No, you're just wasting money. 7 IMAX cameras is more than enough to film the movie. I'll lease 7 cameras to film the movie. Right, that way you have this. I'll have a good 2 cameras. I'll have a good 2 cameras for drone shots. 1 camera for gliding. And 3 cameras for the main scenes, that kind of stuff. So I hired those cinematographers who worked on all those movies. Pay them all a nice $2 million, and the assistant cameraman you can pay them like $170,000. Because cameraman's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. You can pay the assistant cameraman all a nice $170,000 salary, which is a nice salary, obviously. Easily afford with a $410 million salary budget. Pay them a nice $170,000. All the assistant cameramen, pay them a nice $170,000, and the main ones you pay them $2 million. That way they work hard because they're going to be busy for 9 months filming you and your wife and the actors, man. That's going to be crazy. And you need to pay them good money. The special effects team, you need to pay them good money. That way what? I see the mosquito again. That way what? That way they work hard for you. Right? You need to pay them good money. That way they work hard for you. Right? So you can pay the main actors a nice $2 million and an assistant a nice $160,000 or $170,000. Pay him or her a nice $170,000. Feed them all with a nice buffet. Again, for my company, you're looking at top-notch food. The reason why I'm sidetracking is because I'm trying to drag this video out. Because I'm running out of notes. And I want to drag this video out I always want to try my best to drag it out for an hour and 30 minutes. So for my buffet, you're looking at hamburger sliders. I don't want the chefs making big burgers. No, I want them making small sliders. You know how McDonald's has cheeseburgers? I want them making small sliders, slightly smaller than that. Small sliders. You're looking at top-notch like farm meat for the sliders, right? Right. You can even have your Chipotle options, your ketchup, your mustard, some light mayonnaise, all that nice stuff, man. I'm saying. Barbecue sauce, you have your burgers, crispy fries, and you even have your gravy and your poutine with your cheese option. I'm gonna have them make breaded crispy fries. You know how you have those breaded crispy fries at Costco? You know how Costco has amazing fries? Well, picture fries like that, like breaded crispy fries. You have your gravy and your cheese for your poutine option. You also have your thin crust pizza. I'm gonna make sure the chefs make thin crust pizza, not thick crust pizza. No, thin crust. You know how you go to those buffets and you have those thin crust pizzas. You're gonna have thin crust pizza. You have pepperoni, cheese, veggie. You even have homemade garlic sauce and like hot sauce you can have with your pizza. Looks like top notch, man. Like top notch food. I'm gonna have nice barbecue wings. So you have so many options. You have your pizza with your wings. You have your burgers with your poutine. You have your pizza with your poutine. You have some good options. I'm also gonna have barbecue ribs. You know how you have those nice barbecue ribs, fried rice with your teriyaki meats. You know how you have those teriyaki meats? I'm gonna have teriyaki meats. You have sweet meat options, spicy meat options with your fried rice. I'm want to have a huge variety of salad bar. You have potato salad, macaroni salad, vegetarian salad, corn, peas, You have cucumbers. You have carrots. You have all these options. You have coleslaw. You have coleslaw salad. A huge variety. I'm gonna have a huge variety of salad where you can have. Imagine having teriyaki rice with your ribs and your salad. Imagine having your teriyaki rice with your salad. Imagine having pizza with your ribs, wings with your burgers. A lot of options. I'm saying poutine with your wings, poutine with your pizza, pizza with your wings. You know what I'm saying? Ribs with your pizza. Like, you have so many options with your salad. All you can drink: Coke, Sprite, Orange Crush. All you can be Orange Crush. You have all you can drink milkshake. You have strawberry, chocolate, vanilla. You also have water option. You have your option of water, obviously, because people, it's good to drink water. I'll have a water option too. You can have water. For dessert, you have cheesecake, white cake. You know what I'm saying? Blueberry pie, strawberry pie, apple crisp, and ice cream. Those are top notch. For breakfast, you have eggs, bacon, sausages, French toast, pancakes, bacon. You know what I'm saying? I can even add waffles. I don't want to have too much food though. You can even have waffles if you want to. You can even have whipped cream. I also have whipped cream. I'm not going to have waffles. No, that's enough. I also have whipped cream options for your pancakes. You can have that with your eggs, your bacon, your sausage. You know what I'm saying? I also have donuts, like toffee donuts. You have your coffee. You have your French vanilla. You have your tea. You know what I'm saying? You have your apple juice, your orange juice, and your cranberry juice, whatever it is. And you also have options for cereal. You can have oatmeal cereal. I'll have Captain Crunch oatmeal cereal, and I'll have Fruit Loops. Imagine having that option for cereal. This is top notch, yeah. Right? Give me a second. I need to kill this mosquito. Yeah, I think I got it. A mosquito was bothering me. I saw that mosquito. Oh, it's still alive. Give me a sec here. There, I killed it. I got it. Yeah, man. Look at something top notch for my buffet for my company, and hence why all these Hollywood actors are gonna be like, yeah, Skype Source is so much better in Hollywood because Hollywood doesn't give their actors luxury buffet. Hollywood gives their actors not bad food. I saw behind the scenes of Lord of the Rings. Like, the actors got like bacon and like pancakes and that kind of stuff. For lunch, they got like meat and like potatoes and salad. But for Skyfish, we're looking at like luxury food. You're looking at top notch food, man. You're looking at such top notch food that the crewmen and actors are going to demolish the menu, man. You look at something top notch. They're going to demolish the menu, man. The crew and the actors. They're going to demolish that menu, man. Because you're looking at unheard of food. Imagine getting. There's nothing better than getting paid a shitload of money while you're working. So during production will be fun because when the actors, there's nothing cool in acting a movie alongside Ivan and VJ. So all these actors, when they're acting alongside me and my wife, they're gonna have a blast. They're gonna have fun. At the same time, they're getting that nice fat check. Hence, they're gonna work hard for you. Hence, why you pay them actors during production. That way, they work hard for you. Never pay them before production. Never pay them after production. Pay them during production. That way, they work hard for you. Because there's nothing better than working during production. You're getting that fat check. They're gonna work hard for you, obviously. There's nothing better than working, having fun during production, getting paid a lot of money while you're working. At the same time, you're hungry and you get served luxury food. And if you serve them luxury food, the actors are going to work hard for it. If you serve them cheaper food, they're going to slack off more. And there's nothing worse than working in the middle of nowhere and you're getting served shitty food. No. Serve them a nice luxury buffet. That way they work harder for you and you get what? You get better acting from those actors. As well as the crew in there. As well as that way the crewmen work harder for you too. The cinematographers work harder for you. That way, the editors work hard for you. The special effects team work hard for you. The crewmen work hard for you. The chefs work hard for you. You got to pay a lot of money. That way, they all work hard for you. The photographers work hard for you. You want to get better pictures, pay them good money, and feed them well. That way, they all work hard for you. And you're looking at something top notch for the ad shoots and the business shoots and the training shoots. That's something top notch. Me and my wife and the actors are going to look like models, man. and they're going to look like models for the business ad shoots and the training shoots. And they're going to look like badass movie stars. Well, they're going to be badass movie stars for the character ad shoots, all the actors. They're going to be featured with you and your wife. So once a week, the actors get together with you and your wife, and the photographers take pictures the photographers take pictures of them, and they get featured on the weekly on your website. You and your wife's Kick-Ass Sky source website. Listen, I'm not sure. I'm trying to sidetrack because I want to drag this video off for an hour and 30 minutes. I'm trying my best here, man. Right? So again, you pay the main editor a nice $2 million and the assistant a nice $170,000. Feed them well with a nice buffet. That way they work harder for you and not slack off. Remember what I said about Lord of the Rings, the Two Towers, and the Helm's Deep battle? You got the ladders that appear over nowhere. Remember that scene in Lord of the Rings? Helm's Deep, when you got those ladders that appear over nowhere? Where the heck did all those ladders come from? When Saruman gave the speech to the orcs, right? Remember that scene when Wormtongue, when they were at the tower, right? And Saruman and Wormtongue were talking. And then you saw the army. He's like, you shall march to Helm's Deep. You know what I'm saying? Remember when you saw the orcs? You didn't see any ladders. Remember when Aragorn was riding on his horse after he falls down and he recovers and you know what I'm saying? He has a dream of Arwen and he rides on his horse and he sees the army. You didn't see the army carrying any ladders. And all of a sudden in the Helm's Deep battle, you saw a bunch of ladders appearing out of nowhere. A huge plot hole. Why? Because the special effects team slapped off. Remember that scene when the orcs breached Helm's Deep? They breached Helm's Deep. The orcs breached Helm's Deep, right? During the battle. And all of a sudden, you saw a bunch of men. And all of a sudden, in the next scene, you see 10 men left. You see Aragorn. You know what I'm saying? You see Aragorn. You see Legolas. You see Gimli. You know what I'm saying? You see the Rohan King. The King of Rohan. You see 10 men left, and all of a sudden there's 10 men left. Why? Because the editors and special effects teams like, oh, that's a huge plot hole in the story. And yet that was what? That was what you got for the movie. Why? Because the special effects team slacked off. If you pay them shitty money and don't feed them well, Hollywood, the special effects team and editors are going to slack off more, and you're going to get some cheesy scenes in your movie. They'll still work hard for you, obviously, but you're guaranteed you're going to get cheesy scenes in your movie. Hence why I'm throwing this out to Hollywood. Don't be fucking cheap. If you can't afford to pay them good money, the least you can do is give them a lot of social buffet. That way they work hard for you. There's nothing worse than eating one plate and getting served shitty food and have all this pressure put on you, and all of a sudden you're stressed out and you're guaranteed they're going to end up slacking off more, and you're going to get cheesy quality for your movie, man. If you don't want to get these cheesy qualities, at least feed them with a nice social buffet. I'm throwing this out to Hollywood. Don't be cheap. Yeah, man. In a good 15 minutes, I'll be done here. Right? So again, you can pay the main editor a nice $2 million and the assistant a nice $170,000. Feed them well with a nice buffet. That way they work harder for you and do not slack off. Remember what I said about Lord of the Rings, Two Towers, in the Helm's Deep battle. You got the ladders that appeared out of nowhere. Where did those ladders come from? Well, it's because the editors and special effects team slacked off, man. And I'm telling you, they slacked off, I'm telling you, man. Right? They got paid shitty money and one plate bullshit food and got paid shitty money and got pressured on, hence why you got those cheesy special effects for the editing and the special effects. So you got the cheesy quality for the special effects when what? When what? You saw the orc army, obviously. You didn't see them carrying ladders, and all of a sudden during the Helm's Deep battle, you got these ladders that appeared out of nowhere because the special effects team slacked off. They got paid shitty money, got fed one plate bullshit. You got slacking off for the editors when in that one scene the orcs breached what? They breached Helm's Deep during the battle. You saw a bunch of men, and all of a sudden you see 10 men left. Why? Because the editors slacked off, and hence why you got what? A huge plot hole, and you got shitty quality for your movie. Because they got shitty food, they got pressured on, they got paid shitty money, hence they're going to slack off more. If you pay them shitty money, it's one thing to pay them shitty money, it's another thing to pay them shitty money, feed them shitty food, and also put pressure on them. Hence, you're gonna slack off more, and you're gonna get shittier quality for your movie. You're gonna get some cheesy scenes in your movie, guaranteed, man. If you put pressure on them and pay them shitty money, you're guaranteed gonna get cheesy quality. You're guaranteed gonna get cheesy quality for your movie. Like for Lion and Witch and Warriors, we got those two giants that appeared off who were seen, and afterwards they were nowhere to be seen. You got the cheesy fighting in the background when Peter was fighting the orcs. When Peter was fighting the witch's army, you saw the cheesy fighting in the background. Horrible cheesy fighting there. Why? Because the special effects team slacked off. They got paid shitty money, right? They got paid shitty money, and what? They got pressure on it, hence they're gonna slack off more. They'll still work hard for you, obviously, but you're gonna slack off more, and you're gonna get cheesy quality in your movie. Hence why, if you can't afford to pay them good money, Hollywood, feed them with a nice luxury buffet. That way they work hard for you, and don't put pressure on them, man. Special effects is so much work. The last thing you want to do is get paid shitty money and have all this pressure put on you, and get fed one plate bullshit. If you do that, the special effects team and editors are gonna slack off more. And you're guaranteed going to get cheesy scenes in your movie. You're going to guarantee, I'm telling you right now, if you pay them shitty money and put pressure on them and feed them one plate bullshit, you're guaranteed going to get cheesy quality in your movie. Hence why, feed them with a nice luxury buffet if you can't afford to pay good money. Hold on, I'm throwing this out there. Right? So if they got shitty money, got one plate bullshit, shitty food, got paid shitty money, and got pressured on. Hence why you got cheesy special effects and editing for the movie. Whereas for my Last Hope for Zane's movie, you will not have any of that because I paid the editors a lot of money, spoiled them, hence they will work harder for you. So because I'm paying the editor $2 million and I'm paying the assistant editor $170,000, they're going to work hard for you, and I'm feeding them with a nice luxury buffet. I'm giving them 3 beers once a week. I'm giving them once a month parties during a couple months when they're working. The special effects team and the editors, we're going to work hard for me. Hence why you're not going to see any cheesy quality for my movie. You're not even going to see cheesy quality for the background fighting. I'm going to tell the special effects team, hey, I don't want any cheesy fighting for the background fighting. I want you to put effort into the extra fighting as well. That way you get a better movie. And because I'm paying a lot of money, they won't mind working an extra couple hours just to make sure the background special effects are good too. Because in movies, what they do is they focus on the main actors, and the background fighting, you catch cheesy fighting and all stuff. Why? Because the special effects team slack off. Whereas if you pay them a lot of money, they're going to work hard for you. Though they won't mind staying an extra 3-4 hours just to make sure your movie is better. The special effects team and the editors won't mind staying even an extra 4 hours just to make sure my movie's better. Why? Because I pay them a lot of money and I spoiled them. Hence why they're going to work hard for me. And hence why you're not going to see any cheesy special effects for Last Hope for Zanus. Because what? I pay the editors and special effects team a lot of money. Hence why they're going to work hard for me and my wife. And I don't have to worry about those cheesy special effects. Yeah. Right? So I will not get any of that in my Last Hope for Zane's movie because I pay the editors a lot of money, spoil them, hence they will work harder for me. Again, for the editors, I want the editors who worked on Lord of the Rings, the originals, and the assistant, I'll hire one who worked on Avatar. So I'm going to keep saying, so the editor I want to hire I want to hire one who worked on Lord of the Rings, the original. Not The Hobbit, no. I want the editors who worked on Lord of the Rings, the originals. I'll hire one who worked on one of the 3 movies. I'll hire the one who worked on Fellowship of the Ring. Because Fellowship of the Ring is, you can argue, is my favorite movie of the 3. So I'll hire the editor who worked on Fellowship of the Ring, and I'll hire the assistant who worked on Avatar. That way you get what? That way you get an amazing movie, man. Hence why you're looking at something on Earth. Again, picture an 8K world, something like Avatar, except it looks more natural. Again, I'm not a fan of digital cameras. I'm not a fan of full-on CG. Picture something like Avatar, except the world looks more natural, less CGI. Because I'm putting so much money towards special effects, the world will look amazing, obviously, but it will look more natural. So picture something like Avatar, except the world looks more natural. Picture something like Lord of the Rings, except 3 times. Picture something like Lord of the Rings for the orcs, for the wolves and bats, except 3 times scarier than that. So picture something 3 times scarier than the boss orc in Lord of the Rings for Ephesus, and picture something 3 times scarier than Pennywise the Clown for Eritad and Fool and all them. So the wolves will look like Pennywise the Clown. So hybrids, human and wolves, whatever it is. and the bats will look like the boss Orc in Lord of the Rings, except 3 times scarier than the boss Orc in Lord of the Rings. Hence why we're looking at something, and I'm putting $380 million towards special effects because I gave it some thought. I'm not going to I'm not gonna buy the jet with a business account. I'll buy the jet through my personal account. We can get a nice $65 to $70 million jet, me and my wife. Then we get a better jet, and we can put an extra $40 million towards special effects. That way you get better quality for your movie. So I put a good $380 million towards special effects. Look at something unheard of. Hence why you look at something unheard of for my world building, and you look at something unheard of for the horror, and you look at something unheard of for the action sequences. And that's why Last of Us Aliens will be one of the best, if not the best story ever told. Yes, even better. Yes, even better than Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings. I'm not kidding around. If Last of Us Aliens is adapted and it's done right, you put a lot of money into it, you're looking at a better movie than Peter Jackson's original Lord of the Rings. You're looking at an amazing movie. You're looking at an amazing movie. You're looking at one of the best. You're looking at one of the best, but not the best story ever told. Imagine creating a horrific mask for Aratat and putting $380 million towards that horrific mask. You're looking at what? You're looking at what? You're looking at what? The devil himself on the big screen, as well as Hephaestus, the devil himself. The wolves and bats are devils. Unheard of world building. You're looking at something better than Avatar, except more natural. Unheard of action scenes better than Lord of the Rings and Matrix. Remember that scene when Neo was fighting Smith? Picture something better than that for the sword, for the action sequence for Zanus. You're looking at something unheard of. As well as I'm updating on my IMAX cameras, you have the 4K Blu-ray effect. You're looking at something top notch. The music, I'm hiring Hans Zimmer to compose a choir. Compose the music. You're looking at something unheard of, yeah. Right? Let me start sidetracking here. Hence, they'll work harder for me. Again, for the editors, I want the editors who worked on Lord of the Rings, the originals, and the assistants, I'll hire one who worked on Avatar. That way you get a good, amazing movie and hence why Last of Us Aliens will be one of, if not the best movie ever made. I have 9 minutes left. I'm going to babble on for 9 minutes. Right? So I'm done with my notes here. I'm going to talk for a good, 8 minutes. So the reason why Last of Us Aliens will be better than Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings if it's done right, because you're looking at an 8K world. You're looking at something unheard of. Picture an 8K world. Picture something like Avatar, except 3 times what? 2 to 3 times better than Avatar. Avatar was made for about $300 million, and you got a world like that. Well, imagine putting $97 million towards the movie, almost $400 million towards special effects. Imagine that. Almost $400 million towards special effects. $380 million towards special effects for world-building action scenes in the horror of the wolves and bats. Hence why you're looking at unheard of horror. Because for Aratat, I'm actually going to have the voice actors wear the mask. I'm going to have the voice actor for Hephaestus wear the mask. That way what? And I'm going to apply that technology, special effects technology, towards the mask. Hence why they're going to look more natural. They're going to look scarier. Whereas if you have the most full-on CG wolves and orcs, they're going to look cheesy and too computery. They'll still be frightening, obviously, but they're going to look too CG. They're going to look too computery and too cheesy. Hence why I'm not a fan of full-on CG. You need to mix with your physical effects. And that's why the voice actor is going to have to get interviewed by psychologists, because they're going to be guaranteed going to be psychologically affected from that horror. The world building, I'm putting $25+ million towards $25 to $30 million around it towards set building. I'm actually going to hire like 60,000 extras, and you're looking at something unheard of for the world building, for the gatherings, for the war. I'm actually hiring 25,000 wolves for extras, 50,000 men for the human army, the human Xanian army. You're looking at something unheard of, yeah. Hence why you're looking at something unheard of from a Last of Us Aliens movie. Now, if I were to hire a director to direct my movie, I would hire either Peter Jackson or Mel Gibson. Because Mel Gibson directed Passion of Christ and Braveheart, he's another good candidate for a director. And Peter Jackson would be a good candidate for a director. But I told you, I'm scared of someone touching my movie, as I don't want anyone to ruin my Last of Us Aliens movie. Hence why I want to take the reins to direct against myself. Because I can easily take the stress off me and just co-write the script. I can hire a director and just co-write the script with the director and my script developers. I can have him handle the creative, and me and my wife just focus on the acting. But I'm scared of a director touching my movie and he ends up ruining my movie. Because if I hired Peter Jackson and Mel Gibson to direct my movie, I'm scared that those guys might ruin my movie. Because they didn't write my book, they don't know what's best for my movie. Hence why I personally want to just take the reins and direct against myself, because I know what's best for my movie, because I wrote the story. But Mel Gibson and Peter Jackson will be the top two candidates for a director. If I were to decide to hire a director, I'll either hire Peter Jackson or Mel Gibson to direct my Last of Us Saints movie. But the problem is, I don't want anyone ruining my story. Because I'm not taking away those directors. Those directors are amazing. They're one of the best. But because I didn't write my story, they don't know what's best for my movie. And because I wrote my story, I know what's best for my movie. And that's why I don't want anyone touching my Last of Us story. My Last of Us story is so good that once I release my book for purchase on Lulu, and me and my wife start the process of Sky, so there's a good chance even Hollywood CEOs might even call me and he'd be like, "Hey Ivan, like, you know what I'm saying, are you considering selling your rights for your book? You want to make your book is an amazing story." That's how Thomas my book is. My book is so good that all the directors in Hollywood want to direct my movie. As Mel Gibson and Peter Jackson would obviously love to direct my movie, obviously. But I told you I don't want anyone ruining my story or touching my story because I'm scared they're gonna ruin my movie. And all those CEOs in Hollywood, there's a good chance some CEOs in Hollywood might even want to purchase the rights off my book to adapt to the big screen. But I told you, if $300 million or $350 million were put towards Zane's, even $400 million, if $400 million or $450 million was put towards Zane's, the movie would flop. For Zane's, you have to put a lot of money into it. You have to put unheard amount of money into it. If you want to do justice for the story, you have to have Eric be the most horrific being in movie history. You have to have Ephesus a devil, the king bat. You have to have Ephesus be a devil. You have to have Eric be the devil himself. You have to have unheard of whirlwind. You have to have unheard of action sequences. That way you do justice for the story. As if you put $300 million towards Zane's, I'm telling you right now, the movie will flop. It won't be as good. Yeah, you might get good action sequences, and you have Eric as a full-on CG wolf, flop. You have him as a wolf on four legs, flop. You have him as looking like a werewolf, full-on CG, looking like a werewolf, flop. You have your world look 2 CG, flop. As you need to mix it with your physical effects, you have to have your world look more natural. If you have it filmed on digital, flop. As you need to film it on film, that way you get a natural look for your movie. As I know what I'm doing. Right? Hence why I don't want anyone touching my Last of Us story. And I told you, if I were to hire a director, I would hire Mel Gibson or Peter Jackson. And if I were to hire Peter Jackson, I would have him co-write it with me. Because I think as a director, it's best that they write the story. That way they know what they have a better idea of what your movie's about. So if I were to hire Peter Jackson or Mel Gibson as a director for Zanus, I would have them co-write. There's a 40% chance I'll hire a director for Zanus, and there's a 60% chance I'll direct it myself. I'll think about it. But there's a high chance I'm gonna direct it myself because I don't want anyone. I'm scared of someone touching my story and ruining my story. But at the same time, to take the stress off me, you can hire a director to direct your movie. I'll think about it, but if I were to hire a director like Mel Gibson or Peter Jackson to direct my movie, I would have them co-write it with me and my 2 script developers. That way, they have a better idea of your movie, right? Because if your director co-writes it with you, he'll have a better idea. He'll have the same vision as what you envision for your movie. Because if you write an amazing script and you hire a good director, you should get a good movie, obviously. So as long as I write an amazing script and you hire a good director, you'll get a good movie. If I hire a director, it will take the stress off me. All I have to do is just focus on my acting, and I can have a director handle the creative. And as long as you co-write a good script with your director, like Mel Gibson or Peter Jackson, if they were Mel Gibson or Peter Jackson, that way they have a better plan of your envision. They do the concept arts with you. That way they have a better plan of your envision. You know what I'm saying? Better plan of your vision. That way, you get a movie. But there's a 60% chance I'm going to be directing it myself because I don't want anyone touching my story. I don't want anyone reading my story. And if I were to hire a director like Mel Gibson or Peter Jackson to direct my movie, I would have them co-write it with me, and I would have creative control. I would have look. You can have ideas for the concepts, but at the end of the day, I would have a lot of control in the creative decisions. I would give them a lot of creative control for the concepts and all that stuff, but I would have 50-50 control. I have 50% control. You have 50% control for the creative decisions because I don't want anyone ruining my Last of Us story. Last of Us is such a unique story that I don't want anyone ruining my Last of Us story. Hence why I don't want anyone touching it. Hence why there's a 60% chance I'm going to end up directing it myself. And there's a 40% chance I might hire a director to direct it for me to take the stress off me. And if I were to hire a director, my 2 cans would be Peter Jackson and Mel Gibson. Those would be my 2 cans. Again, you can pay those guys a nice. If they were hired, you can pay them a nice $25 million. $25 million to direct the movie if they're hired. But I told you there's a low percentage chance that I'm going to hire a director. As there's a high chance I'm going to direct it myself because I don't want anyone touching my story, and I don't want anyone ruining my Last of Us story. Right. Well, this is it for Ivan Amara. This is it, world. Stay tuned for my next video, my Phase 5 announcement. Design my map. Again, I'm gonna I bought my board. I'm gonna write on my board. I'm gonna talk about the worlds I created, the world building and the characters. Look at interesting for that. Look at a very interesting video for that. I'll be talking about the worlds I created. This is Ivan Amara. I'm signing out. Peace.